Okay, guys. Again, I'm Bill Budworth, and we have Jeff Rout, our newest team member back there. And I know I haven't met a lot of you guys, but I look forward to opportunity to work with you out in the field. That's where we really shine, is out in the field. Anyway, this is our newest model harvester. It's a 9810 PTO operated harvester. To talk a little bit about the PTO shaft, this is the most dangerous thing in the orchard or on any farm, because this thing will kill you. I mean, and that's what you need to stress to your operators. Anytime they're off the machine or alongside of it, this needs to be turned off. Can't be turning, because without exaggeration, it'll tear your limbs off. It'll kill you, and it happens that quick. It does require daily maintenance. There's a universal joint on either end that needs to be greased daily, and there's also a slip joint on the inside, and that should also be greased daily. But I don't really see it happening as often as it should. And what you'll find out is if that freezes up, it'll either knock the bearing out of the PTO shaft on the tractor, or it'll pull a bearing out of the front of our gearbox. So it's very important that gets lubricated. Okay, we have a special hitch that attaches the harvester to the tractor, and anytime that the harvester is in the operational position, it needs to be totally down. And just like the sweeper, if everything's not down and in the proper position, it won't float. This is made to follow the contour of the ground, and so it has to be lower. The operator can't be trying to maintain the height with the hitch.
Should you put your tractor in the float position?
It can be in the float position, but it still needs to be all the way down. If you can see, I shouldn't stick my finger in there, but anyway, if you can see daylight right here, it's not in the proper position. It needs to be totally down. Okay, from the PTO shaft is driving a gearbox, which was new to us last year. And so it comes in, the gearbox on the one output shaft goes to the blower drive, and the other side of the output shaft goes to the pump. Okay, one of the daily maintenance items is to be sure you clean trash out of this area. And you should also go through here and open up your blower housing. And check the blades, the liners, and just check for regular wear. Okay, the next thing as you're checking out the harvester is do the tire pressure. We recommend 25 pounds pressure in the front tires, and again, the most important part isn't the amount of pressure, but the evenness of pressure side by side, side to side, and maintain that pressure, because 5 pounds of pressure in that tire raises the harvester up an inch, which totally puts it out of position. So I recommend we start out at 25 and we just keep it at 25 all year. But the tires are porous, they get puncture bind, so it's really important to check that daily. The adjusting height of the harvester is done with these this slide bracket right here, and we'll go out with that. We'll go over that with everybody in the field.
You know what size nut that is?
15/16. We for the harvester, pretty much you need to carry a 15/16 end wrench and 3/4 inch deep socket and ratchet. And you can do just about everything you need to do. Basically you just loosen this bolt, run this nut up, and adjust the tire position to where you have, again, 1/4 inch ground clearance with a wire rake, and then that'll leave about 1 inch contact with rubber fingers, which will actually do the sweeping. The way I put it is the wire rakes basically they carry the load. The rubber backup flights are what actually do the harvesting and sweeping and getting all the nuts. Then we have what we call a pickup belt. Okay, this is the twin rod continuous pickup belt. It's basically an endless belt. There's no splice, so it's there's no weak link in this belt. And we've done this to actually just to let more dirt out before it gets to the separation area. The pickup belt we developed just 2 years ago, and it's been really working really well, and it is a continuous belt. So it requires very little maintenance other than the wire rakes as they wear down. Let me get the other side. Thanks, Trent. Okay, this is our dirt chain. It's very similar to the pickup belt, other than this is the area where the dirt sifts out of. And this is the one that we developed 15 years ago in Australia. That one was just recent. So it's not a continuous belt. It does have a splice. And this is where all the dirt falls through, and then as a Okay, from the pickup belt, the dirt goes to the dirt chain, sifts out as much dirt as possible. From the dirt chain, it flies up into this area right here, and the air from that vacuum is being drawn up through here, so all the dirt and trash hopefully comes out the exhaust right there, and the clean product goes up this elevator. Okay, there any questions about this area?
On a new belt and stuff, after like the first day, do you need to tighten up and it's good the season? Or
These belts require basically no maintenance as far as tension. I mean, it may be a seasonal thing to adjust them a little bit, but there's very little stretch. There's an airlock right here that rotates in the same direction as the dirt chain, and the purpose of the airlock is to seal this separation area from this separation area, so that as we're drawing dirt and leaves and trash up through here, it's not creating a vacuum or low pressure area here that's disturbing the separation. The elevator chain, again, is a twin rod chain, which seems to be the most accepted configuration in the industry right now. And it works really well as far as longevity and dirt separation. So we all try to send a really clean product into the huller. We're kind of doing their job for them, but that's just the way it goes now. Okay, any questions on this area?
What about the side seals? Do they start at a high position and you can lower them down, or are they basically stationary once they
The side seals are adjustable, but they usually they're all the way down right now. So no, and it's really important to maintain that curve, because if you get the sharp edge of the of the rubber against the metal, the sharp edge of the rubber will actually wear through the metal rather than vice versa. So it's important, just replace them is the best thing to do.
The gearbox, how often should that oil be serviced?
Um,
Do you recommend how many hours?
I don't know. I have no clue. That it's probably in our book, and we got our first version of the book yesterday. So, but I would say every couple of years is normally standard. And, you know, the gear oil, you know, it doesn't usually wear out as bad as it accumulates moisture, and you know, that's where the reason they have to be serviced.
It does have a dipstick to check it.
Excuse me?
It does have a dipstick to check it, or
No,
side
it doesn't.
glass,
It's
or
got a
is
side
that-
plug.
Okay.
Right. Okay, we want to go to the other side. Okay, again, this is the PTO operated harvester. The gearbox sets down there. It comes in to this big drive shiv, and this belt drives the vacuum. The other side of the gearbox drives the pump for our new hydraulic system, which is to me it's a really huge improvement over our previous one, in that we have more gallons per minute, which is about 24, and we have about God, I can't remember. We have a lot higher pressure too, but you know, a lot of times when we're hooked up to a bank out cart, you know, it takes a lot of pressure to get them started. So we've increased the pressure and the gallons per minute to accommodate the new style carts. So this harvester can be ordered with with just a standard version, which is a single pump, or it has the auxiliary pump, which this one is equipped with. Okay, the reason there's two pumps is the first pump mounted on there drives all the components of the harvester. It drives this motor right here, which runs our pickup or our front feeder. It runs this motor right here, which drives the pickup belt. It runs this motor that does the dirt chain, and runs that motor which controls the elevator. Every one of these functions can be individually controlled by these flow controls. So you can dial the harvester, you know, because you know, different conditions require different elevator and pickup belt speeds. One of the nicest features of this harvester is once you set your picking height, you can lower these side shoes down to where it seals the sides, and you don't get a lot of leakage out and leaving a trail of nuts along the sides. Anyway, our previous harvesters had 2 tanks of oil, and this one we're using just one larger tank. And again, we're using 1030 or 1540 motor oil and never hydraulic oil. We have a return filter here, and basically the maintenance required on it is indicated by this gauge. It's a cartridge filter that slips down in here and covers the whole thing. Okay, again, we've added this hydraulic oil cooler, because you know, when we're out there harvesting, you're looking at well, it's usually 100 degrees out there in the shade, so we experience really high hydraulic oil temperatures, which we like to keep down below 180. And this is new. I haven't seen it yet. We haven't even tried it, but we'll see how. Hopefully, it works. I didn't say that.
What there were some controls over there that you could independently turn on and off the belt? Is that what we toggle switch, or what is that?
Okay, what those would be? Those are controlled through the bank out. Okay, so if like if you're If you're like unloading stationary, you can hit the switch and it'll unload the cart. It also turns the function on for the bank out, so you just leave the switch on and it would continuously run, and when the runner comes up to the bank out, hit the trigger and unload. That was it, right?
Yeah, just one.
I didn't see it. I say this is new for me too. Yeah, but anyway, that's what it does. Okay, anything else on the harvester?
You have an extendable hitch.
We do have an extendable hitch. Is it on there? Okay. The extendable hitch is operated by the tractor, and rather than by the tractor hydraulics, rather than being incorporated into the harvester hydraulics. 'Cause that's an option, and so we don't incorporate it into here because that's just another function that we didn't need to add.
Are the lights standard now on your?
Lights are standard on all of our equipment now. It's I guess it's been a law for a couple of years, and we're just now getting it put on. But if in the future, everything will have lights. Pretty much just configured just like these are.
Belt tension, is that should you mess with that much?
Okay, the belt tension on our previous models were required quite a bit of attention, but on this one, since we're not driving the auxiliary hydraulic system at the same time, I've seen them go all season without being retensioned. They should be tensioned after the first couple hours, and that from that point on, you're good to go. Now there's a bunch of pressure regulators in here that are pretty much are hands off to anyone that really isn't experienced with it. Again, we have a couple big bearings here that there's mixed view as to how often they need to be maintained, and the more I read, the more I see that maybe only once a season they need grease, but we know that's not going to happen.
I'm going to make sure that was blocks stay tight.
Yeah. The what?
You said all these motors are individually controlled, so you can control the speed of each belt?
Yeah.
Is there a metering valve on there that you adjust, or is it the rest of you? Sorry, I'm not familiar with the whole. Okay, so there is the metering.
Right. Yep. They have flow control on each one.
So then you can't reverse these belts or anything like that?
No.
So it's on
No. Can't reverse them. But one of the nicest things about this harvester is that it's simple. You look through it, everything is relatively easy to get to. The main maintenance thing is during the harvest is clean it. Just keep it cleaned up, and check your tire pressure. And other than that, it's going to go, and it's going to go every day. But the ones that we have problems with are the ones that aren't just don't get their daily maintenance.
So even the roller bearings, just twice a season or something, or how? Just depends on the.
I'm afraid to say anymore how often I grease bearings.
Well, they're gonna ask us.
Oh, I know.
They follow your operator's manual. So.
Right. It's not in our book anymore. No, we've even eliminated it from that because.
As needed.
Yep, it's pretty much as needed. Okay, because what it is, if you do them every day, what happens? You blow the seal every day, and I read an article yesterday that when you over grease it, also it actually makes the grease run hotter than being under greased. So, and that makes it more fluid, so you're going to lose more. You're going to lose more grease because it's going to seep more through the seal. So. Go from there. I don't know. Okay, we have any questions on the harvester?
The temperature on the hydraulic, basically, sometimes these can get bumped, the closed valves, and that's causing undue pressure. What other reasons would you see for?
If that gets closed, you're gonna have an explosion.
Yeah, sometimes they get kicked halfway, or stuff
Well,
hits them. What else should
you have good questions, Trent. We have a lock on there now.
Okay.
All of our ball valves are locked open, so that they can't get closed unless it's on purpose.
Okay.
It's a good point. And then this is usually going to run around 180 is where we like it. But not there. Here is about 180.
What would be a normal temperature? So the customer's calling on the phone. Hey, it's got to be this temperature. What is a normal temperature?
180. Right. And the things that can cause higher temperatures are usually a relief on the unloading cart is bypassing. That's normally the first thing to check is the settings on the unloading cart.
So you have the settings on the cart. Where is the flow control on here that controls the cart?
The cart gets full flow.
Full flow.
Right, the cart gets full flow. Any variations in the requirement of the cart is done on the cart. Other than that, we give it its full 24 gallons per minute at, I think it's up to like 4,000? The pressure on the new pump, 6,000?
Yeah.
6,000 now. Yeah, it's almost 6,000 pounds, which is, we used to run them under 3. So there's no excuse for the cart not to start.
You guys make an option for a camera mounted on your harvester?
We do.
The reservoir cart?
We do have an optional camera. I think a couple of years down here, I think you got a couple of them this year, maybe. But yeah, we do have a camera option.
On the standard chain belt, and not the twin rod, how much sag should you see underneath? I have a lot of guys ask that sometimes. Well, how much should I see of it?
Right. Okay. Well, that's one of the advantages of this one is it takes there's very little stretch, but normally the way you see the chain down there is coming out flat. That's the way all of our chains should look at their proper adjustment. They should come off of that bottom idler flat and then continue on up. If you see a sag in that area, then it requires adjustment. And some of them you even see they're hanging on the ground, and that's way too loose. And the same with this one back here. They should all look about like that. I know you're not. It's hard to see, but say this thing is really simple. Any more questions? Trent,
the dampener on the top for the blower, if you lower it to get more suction, you sometimes suck up sticks and trash into the fan, or if you raise it up, on cleaner fields, what is it?
There's mixed opinions on that one too. I never run it at any different position than right where it is. If you run it down lower, you're just decreasing the capacity of it. You're getting more trash. This is just really the place to run it.
And you have a service point at the top where if you do have it too aggressive, you can get in there and dig the trash out as it gets sucked up in there.
You can. If you were to accumulate a lot of leaves up there, you can open that door. Yep.